Hey guys, I'm Filiva.
I'm Oliver.
And we're Shepherd's Rain, and we're here to break down our song Aiga for you.
We're a bunch of metalheads from South Auckland. We all met over the years from high school and at music school.
Our main goal from the beginning was create havoc, show everybody that we're from South Auckland and gonna dominate the world.
Aiga was the first song we started writing after we released Le Manu. So we really wanted to build on that, gonna really create another banger.
In the Samoan culture, we have a chant where we say patia, which means clap, and then luopati, which means two claps, and then totofa, which is a rhythm that goes like this. And from that rhythm, we ended up coming with the main riff of this song.
Originally, it was just pretty much the exact same rhythm. And then over time it morphed. We decided to take out the first beat and then it gave a bit more of a upbeat feel. So then it turned into the main riff of the song.
Patia! Patia! Luopati! Luopati! Totonfa! Totonfa!
There's a guitar solo in the song. Ended up being quite a long solo part. The whole solo is over the same riff. So I had to try and make the solo as interesting as possible. Played around with different scales and notes. Mainly just jammed the part as much as possible. This is the riff that's underneath the whole solo. So it doesn't change harmony or anything, so the solo had to be more interesting.
Especially over that one riff that whole way through, yeah.
Second half of the solo, someone had an idea, I think it was Foley, said we should bring in some Tom Morello effects.
Yes.
So, yep, I love Rage Against the Machine and Tom Morello's work. So whacked in a whammy part in there, whammy pedal part.
In the Samoan culture, there's a traditional song that a lot of our elders sing, and the story behind that song is that one of their children goes off into the world and has a taste of all temptations that the world has, and finds out that he misses his family and that he doesn't have true happiness. So the song is basically about returning to your family where you will find true happiness and your family's love. So the song, as hard as it is, it's actually about something quite sentimental. Sometimes I'll have a topic in mind and then we write towards that topic or that subject, and other times I'll have completely nothing lyrically and no melodies, nothing at all, until I hear an idea that the band's come up with, and then I'll start writing lyrics towards it.
The whole band contributes ideas for our music, and this song was quite the collaborative effort as well. Our best songs come when everyone chips in with something. When we're writing, creating demos is a big part of our writing process. Most of us have home studio setups at home. It's not that hard to get the basic equipment needed to create good demos. All you need is a computer, like a small interface, just one basic microphone. You don't need expensive ones. And then you can, with guitars and bass guitars, you can plug straight in. It's all you need really to create good demo tracks, because the software out there these days is really good. You can program drums and program synths and keyboard parts. That's what we use a lot when we're demoing ideas. So this song in particular didn't change much from the demo to the final version, but we did re-record pretty much all the parts. I think there are actually some vocal parts we kept from the demo that just had a real good attitude and sound. if the demo recording has the right feeling, and then we just go with that.
We normally stay inside the booth. We could see him through the window. At times, I'll call out to him and be like, Shaman, can we run that bit again, but can he do it a bit different? Or we'll keep giving him feedback on how he's playing and how during the recording session. It's sort of like a teamwork thing. So he has most of his drums locked down in his head. It takes him about 2 weeks to get everything locked in his head, what he wants. And then it's just little tiny bits that we help out with, and I tell him, maybe this would be nice if it was done this way. And then he'll record it like that. He loves it because he knows, so drumming is my sort of second instrument. He loves the feedback I give him, and he understands that sometimes he can't hear exactly what we can hear. Every musician should be like that. Take any feedback. The pake or the log drums were recorded at the studio as well. The whole reason behind adding the log drum in our songs is obviously because we're Samoan or we're Polynesian, and that's our native instruments and stuff, but it's more the haunting sound that it gives behind, or the distortion and stuff. It cuts through really nice. It's really nice having this band sound, real heavy, distorted guitars and nice drums, and then this pake just kind of stands out a bit and gives a bit more of a tribal feel to it.
In terms of recording guitars, me and Gideon, we play around a lot with all our guitar gear, software guitars and our real amps. I'm a big fan of reamping guitars. I'm always capturing a guitar DI signal, and then I always have a lot of fun reamping that. Just to quickly explain reamping, it's when you record its DI signal, and then once you've recorded it, you send it back out of the computer back into the amp, and then you can play around with the settings more, or the mic placement, and then you can get different sounds or try different effects. Sometimes we have real amps recorded, but sometimes we do just use the software amps if they have the right sound for the song as well.
When recording vocals, I am a bit fussy, which ends up using up a lot of takes, and so I'm a bit of a perfectionist to make sure I get the right attitude as well as the right pitch. Some parts don't really need that much of a grudgy sound to it. Sometimes you just want it to be a nice melodic line, or not too harsh. Because I am a choir master, I love layering harmonies on top of my melodies when needed. Sometimes I just have the one melody run because it's strong enough to belt through with the band. And then sometimes you have lines that just need that one little push. So for example, in this song, Aiga, you can hear in the chorus, there is actually another harmony going on behind the main melody, which for this song, I went higher. So it depends on the song and depends on how high my main melody is, whether I harmonize higher or harmonize lower. Sometimes I harmonize lower if the main melody is already too high, because I can't sing like Mariah Carey or anything like that. Most of the time my screams are laid. So I'll layer a scream on top of another, and then it just gives a real fat, monster sounding growl.
Sometimes we do change mics for the screams. I put away the bit more expensive mics and then put a cheap 58 up for the screams.
Don't be afraid to dig down deep into how you really feel, and don't be afraid to show the world what you reckon you have. I think that's a big downfall with our young musicians, is that they look at other artists and be like, nah, I can't do that, it's too whack, it's too out of it. I mean, if you just look at us, we're a Polynesian group, and this is not the type of music our people listen to, but we've gone ahead and done it, and now the world knows who we are, so don't be afraid.
For all you metal bands out there, best advice would be to get out and play live as much as you can, and also to support other bands, support each other, and just help build up the scene. That's what we need to keep building the metal scene.
Metal scene's always been good to each other, so carry that on, support each other.
Say Foley. Boy, Foley, Aiga. Hey, masa minggu dengan aku, be. Hey, masa minggu dengan apa? Boy, Foley, bayu Aiga. Korea. And everywhere, silence, oh,